It doesn't matter whether you are an experienced JavaScript developer or you have just started JavaScript learning, you must know all the different ways to create objects in JavaScript. I'm Ravi and welcome back to my YouTube channel JavaScript Centric. In this video, I will explain all the 7 different ways to create objects in JavaScript. So without wasting your time, let's start the topic. So by end of this video, you will know all the 7 different ways to create objects in JavaScript. So I'm starting with the simplest way to create an object. The first way is using the object literal, or we can say object initializer. We can say this is the simplest way to create an object in JavaScript. Just write let where or const, then the object name, then you can just write an empty. So as you can say, this is an object which without any property in the methods. We can say this is an empty object. Let's create another object here, o2. So in this object we will create one property name, and we set its value Ravi. Now we are creating the third object in which we are creating one property and one method. This method will return the name J. This dot name. Now this is the simplest way to create an object. As you can see, this is an empty object. This is one object with which have one property, and this is the third object with one property and then the one method. So let's try to use so let's try to print this object here in the console. O1 O2
Object literal syntax for object initializer is a common separated set of name value pair wrapped in curly brace. Yeah. So var we get var object that's after that it gets specific value name as Sudhir and age as 34. So object literal property value can be any data type, include array, function, and nested object. This is one of the easiest way to create an object. We can use this to create an object. There is second method, object constructor. The simplest way to create an empty object is using the object constructor. Currently, this approach is not recognized. Var object equal to new object. The object is built in constructor function, so new keyword is not required. The above code snip can be written as var object. So basically, in this second is it can't use like new object. We can use only object. New keyword is not required from that. After third method, object create method. So the create method of objects is used to create a new object by passing the specified prototype object and properties as argument. That is, this pattern is helpful to create new object based on existing object. The second argument is optional and it is used to create properties on a new create object. The following code creates a new empty object whose prototype is null. On var object, there is an object that create null. The following property additional new um, vehicle, wheel, full tire, color. It closed after that car props type. There is a Volkswagen. Yeah. So we can check what get output. So go to VS Code and window, open folder. We can just get some folder. So there is a document. Okay. After that we can create one. We can create like day one, enter. After that we can file. So day one. Okay. So we can create the day one's file. After that we paste the code. Mm, it can be run. What get output is, we can use that also. So there is type Volkswagen and model Golf. So vehicle and car cops. So car cops type Volkswagen and value Golf means the car's cop car is printed. Object dot create. Okay. So that was given. After that we can use that. So it gets print object dot create to create this one and print. So the following example are create an object along with traditional new properties. So it creates new properties. So fourth method, function constructor. In this approach, create any function and apply the new operator to create object instance. So okay, this new person. So Sudhir. So I think copy this code, go to VS Studio. We can just it can be doing by using control plus that symbol. So we can just check it out what get output. There is no get output. check the another one. What can it says? In the approach, create any function and apply the new operator to create object instance. Okay, there is says create a function. Okay, that is a name. This name it is equal to name. Okay, so name it gets print function constructor with prototype. So in this is similar to function constructor, but it use prototype for their properties and method. So it just says there is a function constructor. It used for prototypes for their properties and method. We can just go and check. Um, there is a one function after that prototype name Sudhir. So new person it gets, so check what it gets output. So there is an example I think. Okay, this is an equivalent to create an instance with object.create method with a function prototype and then calling that function with an instance and parameters as argument. We can use that also, or we can use this. There is a creation after that. Uh, if we if we go to and just paste there and check it out. What is this? Is get an error. Why? Correct. There is not printing something. I don't know what can I do. Oh, there is a sixth method, object assign method. So the object assign method is used to copy all the properties from one or more sources. Objects are stored then into a target object. The following code creates a new staff object by copying property of this working company and the car he owned. So constant it used for uh, all object company. There is a XYZ crop. After that, it gives new value Toyota as a name as a Toyota. After that, it with object dot assign of org and car. There is two constant operator and then get values are printed. I think so. Check it out. What it gets output or not. So I think there is some way to assign that. So in that case, just object dot assign after seventh Yes, ES6 class syntax. So class feature to create an object. It also one way there that can create an object. Try this out if it works. I think so. It can't get output. Why? I don't know. Okay, fine. So there is last one is a pattern. A singleton singleton is an object which can only be initialized one time. Repeated calls to its constructor return the same instance. This way one can ensure that they doesn't accidentally create multiple instances. So what is a prototype chain? There is a second question from that. Yeah, what is an prototype chain? A prototype chain is a used to build new types of object based on existing ones. It is similar to enhance in a class-based language. That is, when you create an object using a constructor function or a class, the created object enhance property from a prototype object. The prototype on object instance is available through object.get prototype of object or uh, proto property where prototype or one constructor function is available through object.prototype. Employee person object.prototype null. So the the prototype chain can be uh, used to build a new type. It means if we build something new types that can be it is similar to enhance inheritance in a class based language. So it is a class based language. If you are creating something new objects using a function or a class, it enhance the property from a prototype object. Yeah. After that, there is third question. What is difference between call, apply, and blind? The difference between call, apply, and blind are shown. So there is a one. First is call. The call method invoke a function with a given this value and argument provide one by one. Okay. There is one function. It gives yeah. So there is a employee one that for name is John and last name is Rodson, and the employee two Jimmy, last name is Bailey. So create a function inviting greeting one and greeting two console.log greeting one plus is get space plus this dot first name plus this dot last name and get comma plus getting two. So we can just copy and go to our VS Studio and just go and check it gets output what it gets output. So hello John Peterson, how are you? And hello Jimmy, how are you? So that's the get output. So first name and last name in that going, and there is a invite dot call hello how are you. So it that time, so there is hello comma how are you. Between that hello, the name and last name are used. After that it gets printed. So that is call method to call someone name and last name. After that apply, invoke the function with a given this value and allow you to pass in argument as an array. So in this example, this dot function first name, last name getting to how are you. So just copy and go to VS Code. After that, so there is an is so there is no difference. Just hello, how are you? Output are same because the method just says uh, it gives an it. So call is one by one. It provide one by one, and apply is argument as an array. Uh, After that, the blind it returns a new function allowing you to pass any number and argument. So there is oh yeah, both are same as it, but the last one is very new for you. Just check what is the output. So the output are same, but the method he used, you just look at it. Var employee one, yeah, and the var invite employee one that is equal to invite dot blind. It used that, but before two there is not an something changeable in the yeah. There is an array to used for that. There is not used from that, and the last one is on. So invite employee one, yo, invite blind employee one. So we can just there is a comma between that, but in there is not something. It get the employee one values are printed. After that it used. Okay.